Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So in today's reading, it's going to be all about you and your person of interest and your connection. We're going to see what is going on between the two of you and what is in store for the future. So we have a lot to get into. It is going to be a thorough deep dive reading today, and I'm really excited about it. As you have seen from the title and the thumbnail, today is a perfume reading. So instead of the crystals that I normally put on top of the piles, there are little fragrance bottles. I am obsessed with fragrances. I wear them all the time, literally every day, even if I'm just at home, even if I'm going to school in sweatpants and no makeup, I always put on a nice fragrance because it just makes me so happy and it lifts my mood. So that is why I'm so excited to introduce you guys to Scentbird, which is the sponsor of today's video. Scentbird is a fragrance subscription service that allows you to try a new designer fragrance every month. To get started, you take a quick quiz and let them know your scent preferences, how you want to feel when you're wearing the perfume, and they will recommend you fragrances based on your answers, and then you get to choose which one you'd like to try for the month. Scentbird carries brands like Prada, Gucci, Versace, and also carries a variety of indie labels. And for each fragrance, you'll get a 30-day supply, so you can try it out before committing to a full-size bottle, which can be quite pricey. I'm so excited to be partnering with Scentbird because I have wanted to try them literally forever, and now that I'm in Canada, I finally could get it shipped. This is what the fragrances look like. They come in these cool magnetic cases. They just snap open like this, and you can put your bottle inside. I have to say that they are very generous with the amount of fragrance that they give you. If you guys often get perfume samples, you know that this is much bigger than what you typically get. And this will actually last a month if you are spraying it 4 times a day. So you can definitely make this last longer than a month. They also come with these cards that include the name of the fragrance and the different notes that are in it. This one is definitely my favorite that I've received so far. Mystic Pearl by Raw Spirit. I love scents that are warm and I like them to be sweet, but not too sweet. This one feels so warm and cozy when I'm wearing it, and yet it also has these lovely bright floral notes to it. I also like this one, Love High by Confessions of a Rebel. This one is definitely more on the sweet side, but I don't mind it because it's fresh, it's vibrant, and it somehow has a nostalgic scent for me. It feels like the type of scents I wanted to wear when I was younger. It feels very playful. If you guys want to start trying out new fragrances, you can use my code KINOTARO at scentbird.com to get 55% off your first month. This will make your first month just over $7 for this bottle that will last you a very long time, and it's available in the US and Canada. Thank you so much to Scentbird for sponsoring today's video. Thank you so much to you guys for listening to that, and now let's get on to the reading. Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So in today's reading, we're going to be taking a deep dive into the connection between you and the person that you are thinking of, who I'll be calling your person in this reading. And we're going to look at the connection from both a 3D perspective and a 5D perspective to get the full picture of what is going on between you and them. And we may also see what type of connection this is if something like that does come up, but I'm mostly just going to be looking into the energies that exist between the two of you and where this connection is headed in the future. So we're also going to see what is happening next between you and your person. But just before we get into it, I did want to mention that this reading is for everyone with all types of connections. Sometimes I get comments asking, can I still watch this reading even if I don't know my person in the 3D? Or can I still watch this reading even if I don't know who my person is and I just feel them energetically? And the answer is absolutely yes. You are very welcome to watch this reading. When we go over the 3D connection part, it will be up to you if you want to just ignore those messages, or you could think of that as what it would be like when you meet in the 3D. Or you can choose to interpret them in a different way that best fits your situation. I also wanted to say that you are very welcome to watch this reading with a platonic connection in mind, but please do keep in mind that many people do watch these readings for a love interest, so there likely will be romantic messages coming through, and same with those. It will be up to you if you want to just ignore the romantic parts if you're asking about a platonic connection, or maybe interpret them a little bit differently as it fits for you. So with all of that being said, let's get into your option selection now. As you can see, there are 3 readings for you to choose from today. And instead of the usual crystals that we use, today we are using perfume bottles, which were provided to us by our lovely sponsor, Scentbird. Hello, Scentbird. So I'm going to show you each of these bottles up close, one by one. And I'm also going to show you the cards that they came with so that you can see a picture of what the full bottle looks like. And you can also see what specific notes are in each fragrance. So when you're choosing your reading, you might be drawn to, for example, the color of the liquid or the name of the fragrance, or maybe there's like a certain note in a fragrance that you really love, and then you'll feel drawn to that. So there's a few different things to help you choose, but without further ado, let's get a close-up look at each of your options. Number 1, your fragrance is Mystic Pearl by Raw Spirit, and it has a gold color. This is what the full bottle looks like. And it has notes of jasmine, frangipani, cinnamon, coconut, and clove. Number 2, your fragrance is Love High by Confessions of a Rebel, and this is a clear color. This is what the full bottle looks like. And it has notes of peach nectar, orange flower, jasmine sambac, sandalwood, and apple. And number 3, your fragrance is Vetiver in Bloom by Scents of Wood, and it has a blue color. This is what the full bottle looks like. And it has notes of vetiver oil, lilac blossoms, magnolia, jasmine absolute, and white musk. Okay, so as always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with our Mystic Pearl. Hi number 1s, so if you guys chose the Mystic Pearl, this is going to be your reading all about the connection between you and your person. I am not gonna lie, group number 1, I have filmed this intro so many times because I feel like I'm just rambling and I want to say everything in a concise way. So I made a list of everything that is going to be covered in this reading so that I remember, and also so that you guys can see exactly what we're going to be talking about today. So here on YouTube, we're going to look at your energy, your person's energy, and the energy that exists between the two of you. And we're going to look at this both for your 5D connection, so the connection between your higher selves, your spiritual connection, as well as your 3D connection, so between your human selves here on Earth. And then we're going to see what will happen in your future. What's next in this connection? Is there a possibility for union between the two of you? And then finish it off with advice from Spirit as you are on this journey. When we get into the extended reading, what we cover there will depend on what we see here on YouTube. So if we do this reading here and we see that there is a high possibility of union, then in the extended reading, we'll see how is this going to play out? How exactly will you come together? Should you reach out to them and make the first move, or will they make the move towards you? We're going to see relevant time frames for this union, and then finally a message and advice from your person's higher self. But if we do this reading and see that union is not so likely, maybe we're being encouraged to move on, then we'll see, could this outcome change, and how would it change? What would need to happen? Are there any other connections possibly coming in? Any new people entering your life that you might be interested in? And if so, when would that be happening? And then we will get a message and advice either from your original person's higher self or the potential new person's higher self, whoever wants to come through. So that's everything that's going to be covered today. There is a lot to get into. So let's get started looking at the energies between you and your person. I'm going to pull your cards here and their cards here. However, if you feel like the energies are flipped, feel free to switch them, or you might find that you resonate with both energies, and that is totally fine. That is often a sign that you and your person are mirroring each other. However, if you don't really resonate with any of the sides, then you might want to try choosing a different group, or maybe this is not your reading today. But with all that being said, let's get started, and we're going to start with your 5D connection. So for your energy, we have rebirth, secret garden, sacred space, cultivate your space, inner beauty, self-care, happy ending. Oh, and this is for your person, by the way. Happy ending. The Empress tree, catalyst for change, clarity, freedom, unbinding. And then for the energy in between the two of you, we have embodiment practice. Step out of your mind and drop into your heart. Move your body to shift your vibration and release any stagnant energy currently present. Wow. Okay, first of all, we have the numbers 16, 24, 93, which could be relevant to you or your person. And we have the elements of air, earth, and water here. So air signs, earth signs, water signs are being represented. I know that that's a lot, but I just wanted to mention it. So I actually want to start with this card in the middle between the two of you, this embodiment practice. I think it's really interesting that we have the advice to move your body. Just judging from the energies here, I do think that there is some telepathy going on, or that your higher selves are in communication with each other and you can sense that. And I think that one thing this card might be saying is that moving your body could be a way to hear from them stronger. I know personally when I exercise, it makes me more receptive to downloads. Like, I don't know what it is, they just hit me more clearly. So if you ever kind of feel out of touch with your person's higher self, or just out of touch with your intuition and spirit's guidance in general, exercising or just getting your body moving might be a good way to reconnect. I feel like when you get out of your head, up out of there, and bring yourself back into your physical body, that's when you are most in touch with your intuition. And how that pertains to this connection, this is a huge confirmation that the more you get in your head about things, and the more you analyze things, and the more you overthink things, the farther you stray from the truth of this connection. The truth of this connection lies in your heart. It lies in your heart space. And I think that that says a lot. Like your anxieties, your worries, your insecurities about this connection, it's all illusions. When you come back to your emotions, when you come back to your heart, that is when you see the truth. With the message about like physical body, it could be that you and this person have an amazing physical connection. If you have been physically together before, maybe that is also an instance where you feel very connected to spirit. But I also think that this is saying your body gives you signals about this person and gives you signals about this connection. And your body can almost serve as a way to check your thoughts. The way your body feels when you are holding a certain thought about this connection is a very good sign of whether it is true or not. If you feel warm, if you feel expansive, if you feel safe in your body, then you're in alignment with the truth of this connection. If you feel tight, if you feel tense, if you feel stressed, if you feel sick, then the thought that you are holding is not true. It's an illusion. So when you're thinking about this connection, pay attention to how your body feels, because your body will not lie to you. But yeah, overthinking could definitely get in the way here. Overthinking, being in your head, overanalyzing the situation. And because this is between both of you, I feel like that could be something that you guys both do. But I also think that as souls, one reason that you might have chosen to have this connection and chosen to come into each other's lives is because you will teach each other to come back into your heart space. And that might be a difficult journey, but I feel like that's the lesson that you agreed to teach each other. And I see kind of similar energies on both of your sides as well. If we look over here on your side, we have this secret garden, sacred space. This also makes me think of the body, like the sacred place that you have to just be, cultivate your space, inner beauty, self-care. And we have rebirth here as well. The feeling that I'm getting for you, group number 1, is that you might be struggling, or maybe you have struggled, to come back into your body or to come back into your heart, because for some reason like your mind tells you that it is unsafe to be there. You don't feel safe in your body, or you don't feel safe in your heart. And there could be a fear of judgment if you live from your heart. There could be a fear of getting hurt, a fear of losing control that causes you to kind of dissociate from your physical body, and stay up in your head and stay up in those worries. As someone who has struggled with a lot of anxiety, I kind of get this. It's like, if I relax, something bad will happen. So I have to stay uptight and I have to stay on the lookout. I don't feel safe to let my guard down. Maybe you're dealing with something like that. It could be for a number of reasons, but there's just this general feeling of you've gone through this struggle where it like doesn't feel safe to be in your body, or to live from your heart, or to let your emotions guide you. But with this secret garden here, I feel like this is something that you guys are actively working on healing, like really seeing you and your body as a sacred space and as a safe space for you. I think that you guys are prioritizing more time for self-care, more time to just be alone with yourself and be at peace with yourself. And this is something that your higher self is really happy about, and that is likely facilitating for you. There's a feeling of having this place that is just for you in your heart, where, and I'm sorry for the language, but where no one else's bullshit can get in. No one else's expectations of you, no one else's shitty opinions, no one else's standards, no one else's negative energy and fear can get in. No one can permeate your bubble of self-love. And so maybe in the past you guys have given too much power to other people's opinions and to other people's thoughts of you, and let them infiltrate into your garden and mess with your self-esteem and come in and mess with your inner compass. And I feel your higher self like rejecting all of that now. Like, get out of my garden. This is my sacred space. This is where I honor myself. This is where I love myself. And I won't have you coming in and tampering with my inner compass and tampering with my heart. So you're coming back to yourself. I feel like I'm filming this at, oh wait, it's still the end of 2022. But you'll be seeing this at the beginning of 2023 if you're watching it when it's up. What I wanted to say is, I feel like this year for you is going to be a lot about rebuilding your self-esteem and rebuilding your trust in yourself. And the love that you show yourself is literally going to transform you. And I think it's no coincidence that there's butterflies on this card. The love that you show yourself is going to transform you. And what's so interesting is that in this deck, like this is number 16. In this deck, card number 61 is the card of self-love. I just saw 1122, by the way. So the work that you do alone on yourself is going to positively impact, well, your relationships in general, but it's going to positively impact this connection. You are transforming yourself through giving love to yourself, and your higher self is supporting you on this journey, is facilitating this journey for you. Now, over here, it is something similar with your person. We are getting out of our head and back into our heart. And I feel for your person, it's almost as if they've been running away from love of all kinds, or running away from what truly makes them happy. You know that expression, it's better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all? I feel like your person, or their soul, throughout their lifetimes has kind of gotten it backwards, and they've been living by, like, it's better to not love at all than to love and lose. So they're kind of moving through their lifetimes from a protective stance. You know, I don't want to have to go through the pain of losing something, so I'm just not going to try to get things. Because it's better to just not love than to love and lose. So it feels it feels like overly protective or overly guarded or avoidant of the things that they truly love. This could be a result of facing a harsh rejection or a really difficult loss. And with the Empress here, like, I'm just thinking of the Empress card in tarot, which can talk about motherhood or parents in general. It could be something that this person went through with a parental figure that makes them afraid of being vulnerable. Or it's almost like the fear of loss for them outweighs the joy of love. They want to avoid loss more than they want to experience love. Or this is the energy, this is the pattern that their soul has been living out. But with this unbinding and freedom and clarity and happy ending, I feel like this is a lifetime for your person's soul to break this cycle. Yeah, like the Empress and the tree, it's like a generational pattern with your person. So they could have, parents or family members that live this way as well, just very guarded and very like playing it safe. They could have grown up in a family or in a culture that's not super like affectionate or outwardly expressive. It feels very like their energy is compacted. And this is the lifetime to relax and to unpack all of that and just let their guard down, if that makes sense. So I think in this lifetime, you're helping them get clarity that the joy of love is so much greater than the fear of loss could ever be. And you're flipping it back for them, that it's better to love and, what is it? It's better to have loved and lost than to never have loved at all. And it's no way to live if we're just hiding away from the potential for our greatest joy. And I feel with happy ending, it's really about like flipping the script, and we're going to do it right this time, and we're going to be happy this time. I feel like your person has created a lot of self-fulfilling prophecies where they tell themselves, like, I'm not going to be successful anyway. I'm not going to end up happy anyway. And then they just don't go for the things that they really want, and then they're not happy. Yes, it's a repeating self-fulfilling prophecy with them. And this connection, I think that you have agreed to help this person free themselves from that and to finally create a happy ending for themselves. Wow. Okay, so we're going to take a look at your 3D connection now. My camera really wants to focus on this rebirth card. Like, it keeps putting a square around this card. So this might be a really important theme of your connection. Rebirth, transformation. This could indicate a new phase starting between you and your person, a reconciliation, like trying things again, a new dynamic between the two of you. Okay, let's see what your 3D connection is looking like right now. So for you, we have the first quarter moon in Cancer, push through any insecurity. We have campfire circle, create deep and magical connections, relationships, bonding, community. For your person, we have the new moon in Gemini with think it through. We have cosmic highway, the universe is on your side, signs, divine guidance, and synchronicity. And then for the energy between the two of you, we have Shadowkite with teacher. And the camera is not focusing on this card because it just really wants to focus. Yeah, you see, when I cover it, it focuses. It really wants to focus on that rebirth. Okay, I'm going to drink some water. And as you can see, we have Gemini energy present here and Cancer energy present, which fits because I think we mentioned both water and air before. So these could be significant placements that you or your person have, or you could have like zodiac signs that are next to each other, because Gemini and Cancer are next to each other in the zodiac wheel. So like if your birthdays are roughly a month apart, That could be confirmation. So, okay. In the 5D, your energies were quite similar in terms of the lessons that your higher selves are encouraging you to go through, the healing that your higher selves are longing for you to do, and what you're teaching each other. The energy was very similar. In the 3D, it does look a little bit different in the sense that I feel like you, as a 3D person, you sort of get it more, or you're embracing your lessons more. It's really interesting that we have this teacher card here. I feel like that's again a confirmation that your soul and your person's soul chose to be teachers for each other in this lifetime. And I definitely think this is referring to the spiritual lessons you're teaching each other, but it could also be indicating stuff in your 3D life. So maybe you and this person come from different backgrounds, or you have different upbringings, knowledge on different things, and so there's a lot that you can learn from each other. Maybe you have a skill that your person wants to learn, or they have a skill that you want to learn, and you inspire each other in that way. I feel like you've had different lives and different experiences, but you're quite similar on the inside. I just feel like at this point, you are more in tune with your own higher self and what your journey is. I think it's really interesting that we have this card that says push through any insecurity, because up here we were talking about the insecurities that you've experienced when you let other people's opinions and other people's crap, to be honest, come into your own secret garden, your own sacred space. And I feel like at this point, you guys are aware of this problem, and you've been putting in a lot of work to restore your own beautiful sacred space within yourself. And I feel like this card is indicating your commitment to push through your commitment to push through your insecurities in general, but also to push through your insecurities as it pertains to this connection. So your negative self-talk might tell you at times like, oh, this person is out of my league, or I'm not worthy of this connection, or like I'm not worthy of a connection like this in general, or it's not going to happen. Like your negative self-talk tells you all these kind of things. And I feel like this card shows you putting up a fight to that. Like, I'm not going to let those thoughts win. I'm not going to let those thoughts get to me. I don't have to identify with them or give them power if I don't want to. We have Cancer energy here, which is loving, nurturing, protective. And I feel like this is the energy that you're showing towards yourself. You're committing to protecting your inner peace. You're committing to showing yourself love. And I feel like you are longing. You're longing for your community. You're longing for your people. But there's this voice in your head that maybe tells you that you can't fit in, or tells you that you don't belong, or tells you that people wouldn't like you, or that your person wouldn't, not that they wouldn't like you, but maybe that they wouldn't fully accept you, fully understand you. But these two energies together are making me very emotional, because I'm so proud of you for standing up to those thoughts. It's like, I recognize that I'm having these insecure feelings, but I also recognize that they are not the ultimate truth. So I'm going to keep fiercely loving myself no matter what this negative self-talk tells me. And I'm going to keep searching for connection and keep putting myself out there and keep dreaming of this true love, no matter how unworthy my negative self-talk might try to tell me I am. You're still, like, you're really doing the work. That's all I have to say. And I'm just really proud of you guys, because it can really be a battle with your own mind day to day, with your own insecurities. And maybe this connection with your person has brought up a lot of insecurities for you, but you're definitely not letting them get to you You're not letting them like make you give up or stray away from this connection. I think you understand that your thoughts are just that, they're thoughts, and you can choose to identify with them or not. So I think your heart is really winning in this situation. Your heart is really winning, and it's just so beautiful to see. Now over here with your person, we do have this Gemini energy with think it through. So it seems like your person at this time, at least in the 3D, is still very much in their head. I think that spirit and your higher self are sending them signs all the time to help them, because you and them have made this agreement as souls. In this lifetime, we're always going to be there for each other. We're going to help each other get out of our head. When we start drowning up in our thoughts, we will pop in and try to help each other come back down into our body and come back to our heart, come back to what really matters, come back to the truth. I just feel like your person might be struggling a little bit more. Like they have a stronger tendency to get up in their head and to let those thoughts win. And, you know, with the universe is on your side, with this signs, synchronicities, divine guidance, I feel like both spirit and your higher self are sending them love all the time, sending them signs all the time. And I will say that your person does see signs and synchronicities pertaining to you, but then especially letting them know that change is coming with this 555. But when they get these signs, they then just overthink them to death. Yeah. Gemini, in tarot, the Gemini cards are 8 of Swords, which is holding yourself back, lack of confidence, 9 of Swords, overthinking, overanalyzing, and 10 of Swords, like thinking something to death or endings, defeat. So it's like you're learning the same lesson, but I feel like you're more open to it, and they're kind of closed off to it right now, or they're just struggling more. And your higher self, and maybe even your 3D self, I feel like you're sending lots of help to this person, but they just overthink it. Like they see a sign of you, or they see a sign of this connection, or they see that things are going to be okay, but then they just overthink it, overanalyze it. And when they do that, this wins, this like, oh, better to not love than to love and lose. And then the guard goes up. So yeah, this seems to be the current energy in the 3D. So with that, we're going to take some cards to see what is coming in the future. What is next for this connection? And we are going to be using, where should I do this? I'll do it over here. The Divine Feminine Tarot. Oops, some of them are flipped over. Okay. What is the future? Okay. What is the future of the connection between group number 1 and their person? We have the 4 of Pentacles. Oh my gosh. Focus. There we go. The 4 of Pentacles. As long as that rebirth is present, the camera just does not want to focus on other stuff. That's so funny. Rebirth is very important. We have the Ace of Swords. We have the 10 of Cups. Oh my gosh. And the 5 of Cups. And then what is the advice for group number 1? What advice do you have for them? The King of Cups, King of Cups and Temperance. All right, it is water time again. Okay, so we have more water energy present here with the King of Cups. We also have some Sagittarius energy with Temperance. So we'll go through these in order. For the future of this connection, this is really sweet. We're starting off with the Four of Pentacles, which really tells me that this connection is not going anywhere. And I don't mean that by like, it's not going anywhere, it's not progressing. I mean like it's not leaving. I also think that you really are entering into a new cycle with them, because the number 4, it's all about the divine order of things, and it is about cycles. And just with how much the camera wanted to focus on this freaking rebirth card, I really do feel like you're entering a new cycle. We even have the Ace of Swords, and aces represent new beginnings. I think that whatever agreement your soul and this person's soul have made with each other, you definitely agreed that you're not going to give up that easily, and you're really going to stick together no matter what. So as long as you want this connection, it is not going anywhere. That is for sure. And your spirit guides are not going anywhere. And it's like, it honestly makes me so emotional. You know, this is just one lifetime of your many together, I'm realizing now. And, you know, maybe at this tiny point in time, in this one lifetime, it happens to be your person who is struggling a little bit. And maybe in some other lifetimes, it was you who was struggling. And maybe in some others, it was both of you. Or maybe in some, it was neither of you. Like, this is just one little piece of your story. And it's like your higher self and your spirit guides are saying, we're not going to give up from this one little bump in the road. Because in the grand scheme of things, this time of stagnation or this time of struggle is just a bump in the road when you think about the unfathomably massive story that your souls have lived through. Like, this is just a tiny little chapter. Like, I'm not giving up because of this little bump. And so I almost feel like, your person, I don't know if self-sabotage is the right word, but there is a feeling of like pushing people away in a get them before they get me kind of thing. But I feel like it's not working here. Like, your higher self and spirit are like, no, I'm not going anywhere. Like, this little trick is not working. Like, there's nothing you could do that would make me stop caring for you or stop wanting you to be happy. Like, I'm gonna be right here. I'll wait and just like sitting there. And if you were struggling, your person would do this for you too. I think this person is so used to people in their life being like, oh, you're struggling, oh, you're distancing yourself, screw it then, and just walking away. And so they expected that to happen this time, but it's not happening. And I kind of feel like you coming back with even more love for them. Like, oh, if you're struggling, then I'm gonna love you harder. And maybe they do the same for you. Like, you might also have that habit of like pushing people away when you're struggling or when you're getting in your head and it doesn't work. They're like, nope, like, I'm gonna stay here and keep loving you. I'm jokingly hearing there's nothing you can do about it, but I don't mean that in a threatening way. It's in like an endearing way. Like, there's nothing you could do to make me change my mind about you, kind of thing. Yeah, this is rock solid. The Four of Pentacles is like the most secure, stable energy. It's family. It's like, I'm not going anywhere. It's loyalty. And with the Ace of Swords here, it's like they will have a breakthrough. If they repeatedly see this again and again and again, they will have a breakthrough. So I can hear spirit like, oh, you're not getting the signs, you're not getting the messages. Okay, I'll keep sending 10,000 more every day until you do. I remember like the first personal reading I got, it was like on the phone, and I hope that reader's doing well. I don't know if they still do readings, but I was saying something, like, oh, I have tried knocking on that door, but it's not opening. And she said, then try knocking 10,000 more times or find a new door. But like, you're gonna get in there. And I feel like that's the unconditional love and support that Spirit has for you guys. Like, I'm not giving up on you. If you're struggling, I'm just going to keep sending you love over and over, and I'm going to keep sending you signs that everything is going to be okay over and over. And I'm not going to give up on you. And that's also so sweet, because I think that sometimes we might feel like the universe is getting tired of us, or our guides are getting, sick of our shit. And it's just not true. It's not true. So whether it's them struggling or you're struggling or both of you, like, your guides will shower you with endless love until you feel it. So I think that what's happening is that your person is realizing no matter what they do, like, you're always here, or at least they can always feel you energetically. No matter what they do, they can always feel your love there. They can always feel your presence and your energy. And I think something's just clicking, and they're like, screw this way of living. I have this beautiful love, this beautiful energy that is always present with me. And I don't want to live like continuously turning it down over and over again just because I'm afraid of getting hurt. This is hurting more. This is hurting me more. I am creating a self-fulfilling prophecy. I'm so afraid to get hurt, but then I end up hurting myself from turning away from the things that I truly love and the things that I truly want. So it's like everything that we've spoken about on their end, the Ace of Swords represents an epiphany. And this epiphany is coming through the relentless love and relentless presence and relentless support that your higher self is showing them. Even if your human self is not, your higher self is showing them, and Spirit is showing them. And they're realizing that they deserve to be happy. They deserve to have it all, because the 10 of Cups is truly everything your heart has ever wanted. It's literally your happy ending, like they have on their side. The Ace of Swords represents breaking through challenges. It represents victories. It can also represent communication. So there could be some communication coming through from your person. And I do remember these first cards, or at least this first card, flying out very quickly. So, and the Ace of Swords is pretty fast too. So it could be a sign that that's coming soon. With the Five of Cups, let's get a clarifier for this one. What is the Five of Cups referring to? The Seven of Pentacles. Okay. Okay, so there's an epiphany that's happening from your person, and I think they are realizing the happiness that they deserve, and I think they're also realizing what they want out of life and what they want out of this connection. The reason I was a bit thrown off by this Five of Cups is because it is a disappointing energy. So I'm like, okay, all of this is happening, like we're having a breakthrough, we're realizing what we truly want, then why are we disappointed at the end of it? And so I got this Seven of Pentacles to clarify it. And generally the Seven of Pentacles has to do with patience. It has to do with things taking a long time. So what this is indicating to me is that while your person might have this breakthrough and might realize what they want with you, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to act on it right away. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe we'll look into it a bit later, but that could be a little bit frustrating. It's like, I'm happy for you. I'm happy that this Ace of Swords is clarity, freedom, and this 10 of Cups is the happy ending. So like, I'm happy for you that you're aligning with your higher self. I'm happy that you're seeing the truth. I'm happy that you're seeing you deserve love. I'm happy for you that you're learning to be vulnerable and that you're realizing what you truly want out of this life. Like, you want to live from your heart. You want to put your heart out there. You want to love fully. Like, that's beautiful for your personal growth. I feel like you're very, very happy for your person, but simultaneously maybe you're a bit bummed that like this breakthrough didn't immediately lead to a union with you. So I feel like that is still going to take some time for whatever reason. It could be for personal reasons. It could be because of external factors. I'm not sure. But it's kind of like this breakthrough and transformation that they're going through is not necessarily leading to a union right away. As for advice for you, we have the King of Cups and Temperance. And I think that this means having compassion, having a big heart, looking at things from the bigger picture. Temperance is definitely about patience as well. And it's kind of about self-restraint in the sense of not getting carried away with impatience, not getting carried away with intense emotions. And King of Cups is about a mastery of your emotions. It's hard to strike a balance between, because I feel like emotions can be very complex during this time. And I think that the advice here is to do your best to allow all of your emotions to come through. So the positive emotions and the negative ones, because they all deserve to be felt and they all deserve a place. While not letting anyone completely have control over you. I hope that makes sense. So allowing yourself to feel everything that you feel, but not getting taken over by it. So being able to just healthily observe all of your emotions at this time. Because I just feel like when this is going down, there's going to be a lot of happy emotions running through you, a lot of not so happy running through you. And you might feel like, oh, I don't want to identify with the not happy ones, or you might feel conflicted. And I think this is just reminding you that all of your emotions are valid. But we don't want to get carried away with them, if that makes sense. So I do think that you'll hear from this person soon, and you will see concrete evidence of the shift that is happening within them. And that's going to make you very happy and excited. And you'll watch them start to live a better life. You'll watch them start to live like more in alignment with their heart. Obviously, you're very strongly on this journey. You're doing an amazing job at that. I would also say that in your near future, there's beautiful friendships blossoming. Like, this looks like a really sweet friend group and like community that you really feel belonging to. So I would say that this is coming in your near future. Like finding your tribe, finding your, chosen family or your soul family, the friends who really get you. Things are looking up for your person. Union is not coming right away. I think it's still going to be a while with this Seven of Pentacles. But because of what we've seen here, I think that in your extended reading, we will look at this side, because I really do think that there's potential for union here. So we're going to see this one. How are things going to play out from now on? Should you reach out first, or will they? Should you make the first move, or will they? Relevant time frames for your union. That will be interesting, because we know that, patience is coming up a couple of times. and then messages and advice directly from your person's higher self. So that's what we're going to be taking a look at next. If you'd like to join me over in the extended reading, there will be a link for that in the description as well as in the pinned comment. However, if you're going to leave the reading here, I will say thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. And thank you once again to our lovely sponsor, Scentbird. I don't know if I remembered to say this, but I was wearing this fragrance the whole time doing this reading. I think it's my favorite out of the three, so you guys have good taste. I'm like sniffing myself right now. Anyway, thank you very much to Scentbird. If you guys enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, you can find me on Instagram. I am back on Instagram now, actually. I just posted today. She is back. Sorry. And you can find me on Patreon, where I post exclusive pick a card readings, 2 + 2 new ones every month. Why am I struggling so much with this? Anyway, on Patreon, we have over 50 exclusive pick a card readings plus 2 new ones every month, and you get to choose the topic for those. You can also find me on my music channel. The song that you guys heard at the very start of this video was an original song, so if you're interested in listening to the full version of that song or any of my other ones, you can do so over on my music channel. And then finally, we have merch at kinotarot.com, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video, and we have that on hoodies, sweatshirts, mugs, and tote bags. So all of that stuff that I mentioned is going to be linked down below for you in the description as well as in the pinned comment. Thank you so much for supporting me and for supporting my channel. It truly means so much to me. I'm sending you guys so much love, lots of love to your person as well, to both of you, and lots of love to your higher selves, your spirit guides, your soul families, and your whole spiritual team. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye! Hi number 2s, so if you guys chose the Love High fragrance, this is going to be your reading. I have to say, this fragrance is really growing on me. It wasn't my favorite at first, but I sprayed a little bit before starting to film, and I'm really liking it. Like, it's sweet, but it's not overpoweringly sweet. It's just really nice. Anyway, so I made a list today so that we can go over exactly what is going to be covered in this reading before we get into it. So here on YouTube, we're going to look at the you versus them of this connection. So your energy, their energy, and the energy that exists between the two of you. And we're going to look at this from a 5D perspective. So your higher selves, your spiritual connection, as well as a 3D perspective. So what is going on currently here on Earth between the two humans? And then we're going to see what will happen in the future of this connection. Is there a possibility for union? And then finally get some advice from spirit pertaining to this connection. And then we're also going to do an extended reading today, but what we look at there will depend on what we see here on YouTube. I just saw 111, by the way. If we do this reading here and we see that there is a strong possibility for union, then in the extended reading we'll see how exactly is that going to play out. How are you and your person going to come together? Should you reach out to them? Should you make the first move, or will they? And we're also going to see relevant time frames for your union, and then finally a message and advice directly from your person's higher self. However, if we see that union is maybe not so likely, or you are being encouraged to move on, then we will see, could this outcome change? And if so, how? What would need to change? Are there any other connections coming in, possibly a new person of interest entering your life? We'll also get relevant time frames in this reading. And then a message and advice from your person's higher self. That could be the original person you were asking about, or the new person, whoever wants to come through. But this is the menu for today, so let's get into it. We're going to start off with these oracle cards to do the you versus them part of the reading. I'm going to do your cards here and their cards here. And I just saw 222. However, if you feel like the energies are switched, like this is more like them, this is more like you, that is totally fine. You're free to switch the energies if that feels right. You may also find that you resonate with both sides, and that is totally fine as well. That's often a sign that you and your person are in fact mirroring each other. However, if you don't resonate with either side, then you might want to try listening to another group, or maybe this is just not your reading today. But without further ado, let's take a look at your cards. So we're going to start off with the 5D connection. On your side, these are upside down, we have love and blue kyanite and honeysuckle with sword of truth. Freedom, warrior of light, stop holding yourself back. On your person side, we have environment. And jade and pink lotus, sink into silence, reflection, tranquility. And then for the energy between the two of you, we have self-acceptance. You are beautiful and divine as you are. You are not broken. Okay, so to start off, we have the numbers 6, 36, and 44 present here, which could be relevant numbers for you. And we have the elements of water and air over on your side, and we have the element of earth over on your person side. I'm also noticing that on your side, both of these cards are blue. And on your person side, both of these cards have like green being very present. So it looks like you have more of a blue energy. They have more of a green energy. It is making me think of water and earth actually. And it could be referring to like water signs and earth signs. That could be a confirmation if you or your person have those placements. But I feel that it's more so indicating that you are more of an emotional person, and by that I mean in touch with your emotions. You feel things deeply, you're connected to your intuition, and the energy of your person feels more grounded and practical, focusing on what's right in front of me, focusing on my 5 senses. I feel like your person's soul is very in the 3D. And your soul could be kind of in many places at once because you have the capacity to do that. With love coming out on your side, I definitely think this is indicating that your higher self has a lot of love for your person's higher self. Like your soul loves their soul very much. But what I would say is that I think your soul just has so much love in their heart in general. Very, very loving, very, very compassionate. And I think that you're just a beacon of light in this earth. A lot of you guys might feel like you are light workers or feel called to healing practices in this lifetime, even if it's not like a spiritual healer or a spiritual light worker. The work that you do in this world will heal a lot of people, will soothe people, will make people feel cared for, will bring light and love to people's lives. You could also do something on this earth that brings people together. I feel like there's something about you that makes people feel truly seen, that makes them feel like they're not alone. You just have that pure source love emanating from you in everything that you do. And I just want to take this time to let you guys know, in case, I think you know, but in case you didn't know, you are a very, very beautiful soul. Like, I can see that so clearly. It's interesting that we have this message of stop holding yourself back and freedom. I know that this is supposed to be a reading about your relationship, but I do want to tell you guys who chose this group, if you feel stuck in a job, or if you feel stuck or unfulfilled in your current life path, and you fantasize about freeing yourself and pursuing a more spiritual path or pursuing a more creative path, pursuing your job as a healer, as a light worker, but you're scared, I want you to know that you have what it takes. I want you to know that this world needs your energy. And I want to encourage you to go for it. It's up to you at the end of the day, but I feel like some of you need that confirmation that it's okay to take that leap and pursue the life that you really want. And your abilities are greater than you realize right now. Your spiritual abilities, your psychic abilities. I think it's no surprise that you have the number 6 here, which pertains to the third eye chakra. your abilities are only going to keep growing more and more. And perhaps this connection that you feel is what, woke you up to your spiritual abilities or got you desiring to pursue them further. But you have to know that your abilities are going to keep growing and growing. I feel like where you are in a couple years, you would really surprise yourself. But some of you guys need to hear that confirmation, like free yourself, go for it, pursue that unconventional life path. Yes. Let's look a little bit at your person's energy. We have environment and we have sink into silence with reflection and tranquility. This is kind of an interesting energy. I do feel like, this is an advanced soul as well. Both of you are advanced souls, but you're kind of on different paths, or oh my gosh, this is so abstract. Please bear with me as I try to find the right words. I feel like you kind of have different objectives here on Earth, or the way that you want to experience Earth. As you guys might know, here on Earth, in this physical plane, we have the illusion of separation. We have this illusion that, like, I'm a person over here, you are a person watching this over there. We are completely separate people. And when we go into higher dimensions, it becomes a lot more obvious that we are all one, that we're all one and the same, that we all come from the same source, that we all come from unconditional love and the infinite intelligence that is spirit. And we're really not separate at all. We're always connected. We're always in communication with each other. You guys get the picture. When you come here to Earth, it becomes sometimes difficult to remember that. And then even when we do remember it, it's often difficult to believe. And I think that something that your soul feels very passionately about is helping to remind those people on Earth of this truth. Those people who feel separate, alone, lost, people who are struggling to feel love, people who are struggling to feel their divinity. I think you feel very, very strongly about, like, reminding Earthlings of that truth. I think that is a big part of your soul's calling. And so those who are struggling with the separation on Earth, it's like you came in to help change that. Whereas with this soul over here, I feel like I'm not really getting the vibe that your person's soul is on Earth a whole lot. It almost feels like they are fascinated by this aspect of Earth. Like, they don't see it as a bad thing, at least for them. They're, like, interested in it. So they may spend a lot of time in worlds or in dimensions where this idea of oneness is just very obvious. It's everywhere. Like, everyone's communicating telepathically all the time. Everyone can sense each other's energy. Everyone loves each other because what's best for me is what's best for you, and vice versa. Like, there's no competition. I feel like they come from a place like this and they're interested in Earth because it's so different. It's like they want to experience that separation. I'm almost getting the feeling it's like they maybe even came to Earth to feel alone because they want to know what that's like. There's a sort of, and that doesn't mean that the human is like this. The human might be like, oh shit, this sucks. I don't know yet. But I think that the soul is almost coming to Earth with a curious mindset, even almost experimental. And I would say for a lot of this group, your person doesn't have that much soul family over here. It kind of feels like they came here alone. Like, they wanted to be alone. They wanted to reflect on something. Maybe they came here to reflect the Earth model, like to think about what it means to be in separate vessels like this. Try to figure out who they are apart from all the other energies. There's like a specific reason that they chose to come to this, like, separateness. I think their soul was seeking that. Maybe they came to Earth to be alone with their thoughts because a lot of us Earthlings are not hearing everyone else's thoughts and picking up on everyone else's energy. feel like you are, but a lot of earthlings don't do that. And so it's like they wanted to have that experience. What I could see happening here, take this if it resonates, but I could see this thing where you may be trying to bring this person back to that oneness, back to that, unconditional love, back to the source. And this soul is saying like, but I just want to be like in the 3D right now. I just want to be human and like live my human 3D life. Like I don't want to, maybe this person as a human is not super interested in the esoteric stuff and all that spiritual stuff, because I think it's not really in their soul's path in this lifetime to do that, and that's okay. I think that one thing that's really important for like people who are awakening to remember is that not everybody is ready to awaken or wants to awaken, or it's not in their path for this lifetime, and that is perfectly fine. Like maybe in your next lifetime you're going to be a human who doesn't awaken. I don't know. Like there's so many reasons why we would choose to get back in touch with our spirituality or not in a lifetime, and it doesn't mean that we're more or less advanced. Like there's so many reasons why a soul would choose to come here and choose to have certain experiences. But yeah, even with this person coming through as like an earthy, practical energy, it doesn't really seem like getting into spirituality or like having a big awakening was like in the blueprint for their life. Of course, they have free will. They could change their mind, but I'm not really getting that vibe from them for the get-go. But it's very interesting that in the middle we have self-acceptance. You are beautiful and divine as you are. You are not broken. And I feel like this is just really highlighting that both of your soul's journeys are valid. Both of your soul's perspectives and reasons for incarnating are valid. And you don't need to change at all. You're not broken. You don't need to change. We're going to look at the 3D cards in a second, but I think that something that you might learn in this connection is that, yeah, I think you're learning that you're perfect the way you are and you don't have to change. We'll have to see how that plays out. For some of you, maybe you're learning this lesson because this person is actively helping you to see that, like they're letting you know that you're perfect just the way you are. For others of you, maybe this person triggers insecurities in you and you learn on your own to accept yourself. Let's see. Let's look at the 3D cards and see what is going on. So on your side, I just keep pulling these upside down. We have last quarter moon in Virgo, attend to the details. The last chapter, write your own story, closure, resolution, forgiveness. On their side, we have the first quarter moon in Aries, step into your power. Alien, yeah, that makes sense. Alien planet, make yourself at home. Adaptability, change, originality. All we have is now. And then in the middle, we have pyromorphite with patience. Okay. So looking at the middle card, having pyromorphite and patience here, this could be a connection that you have been, maybe you feel like you've been waiting on it for quite some time, or you have felt left hanging, or it could be indicating that patience is required from here on out, or that you show a lot of patience to this person to try to understand them, or vice versa. But this is kind of the theme of the connection right now. Looking over on your side, I did want to mention, even as I was pulling out these cards, the camera wanted to focus on this love card. And that was happening in group number 1 as well. The camera seems to want to focus over here, but I feel like that might have been relevant in that we spoke about your higher self having a lot of love for this soul, and perhaps in the 3D as well. You do have a lot of love for this person. It's interesting as well that we have this matching landscape. We have the lotus and the lily pads, and then over here on your side we have the same thing, and then we have this big open book. I feel that in the 3D, it's likely that you find this person to be quite fascinating. This is almost like you want to step into their world. You want to learn everything that there is to know about them. Perhaps you've had some very fascinating conversations with this person. It's almost like you just want to get absorbed in them the same way you would get absorbed in a good book. Like, learn everything that there is to know and feel immersed in their inner world. Maybe patience is here because it takes time for this person to open up, to be that open book. Maybe they're the type of person who just shows their cover, and then you have to really be patient and not peel open the book, but the book opens slowly. And perhaps you have a feeling, or you have a knowing, that there's something very beautiful within. I do think actually that I would agree with you that this is a very fascinating soul. I do not think that they're familiar to Earth or spend a lot of time on Earth. I think that they're likely a very advanced soul that has spent time in a lot of different places. And that's also so relevant as well. Like this expression, don't judge a book by its cover. I think that, well, I shouldn't speak for everyone, but some people could have a notion that if you're a human on Earth who is like very into spirituality and tarot cards and all this stuff, that means that you're like a more advanced soul or you're more awakened. And if you're not into that stuff, you don't believe in a higher power and you're just very practical, then you're like asleep. You're like a less advanced soul. And I don't think it's as simple as that. Like I said before, I think there's a lot of reasons why an advanced soul might choose to come to Earth as a human and have amnesia for a while so that they can have a certain type of experience under their belt. I don't know what those reasons are. I think it depends on the person. But it kind of seems like both of you are quite advanced souls who are just kind of living different paths on Earth, or kind of different people with different ways of thinking. And maybe that's why you feel drawn to each other and fascinated by each other. It's interesting too that we have a last quarter moon and a first quarter moon, because they're mirror images of each other. The part that is full for you is empty for them, and the part that is full for them is empty for you. So I think that you guys have a lot of knowledge and experiences that are different. So when you come together and teach each other, you really enrich each other's lives. It's like an opposites attract situation, or maybe a yin and yang situation. In terms of a spiritual connection, I'm more so getting the feeling that your souls just kind of took a liking to each other. It seems like the soul connection is still pretty new. Like you happen to run into each other and just like each other, much like you would here on Earth. Now, I will also say, in terms of your 3D connection, I am getting feelings of either a separation or a situation where things seem to be moving quickly and exciting at first, and things are really open and fun and promising, and then just kind of like slumped and things went stagnant, or things slowed down, things became lackluster. But it kind of seems like you are over here looking for closure, or just looking for answers with this like closure, resolution, the last chapter. And we also have a 10 to the details. So I think that in the 3D, you could be feeling kind of confused about where this person stands and what they really want. And so you become hyper analytical. Maybe because they're not telling you directly, or you feel that there's more to what they're saying, or they're not telling you the full truth, or they say one thing and act differently. Whatever it is, there's this feeling of like you're not convinced, or you're still confused about what's going on. And so I feel like you really, really start to analyze every little cue from them to see if you can try to figure out what's going on with them. Some of you guys might really be like holding on to every thing Every little thing they say to you, every body language, every gesture, maybe things that they're posting, you're like, what does this mean? Is this about me? For some of you, because Virgo is Mercury energy, and if it's one thing about Mercury energy, especially when it's a moon, like a Virgo moon, a Gemini moon, calling myself out, you can get really, really in your head and overanalyze scenarios. There's this sort of feeling where, like, this person is very chill. Aries is not that analytical. Aries is just like, and all we have is now. I do what I want in the moment. I don't really think about it. Like, I'm just here in the present moment enjoying myself. I'm not thinking too much about stuff. They're just chilling. And then we have your energy over here that's like really analyzing stuff. You might have these ideas of like, oh, they must be thinking XYZ. They must be feeling all these intricate things. And meanwhile, on their end, they have not given any thought to those things. It's almost a feeling of reading too deep into the situation. Because I just feel like as a human, this person is quite simple. They're quite like, what you see is what you get. And there's honestly, a bit of over-analysis on this side. Like, and maybe it sounds kind of harsh, but it's like, if they're talking to you, it's because they want to talk to you. If they're not talking to you, it's because they don't want to talk to you. Like, it's as simple as that. This is not the type of person who would like, oh, I have feelings for you, but I'm going to act like I don't. Or I have feelings for you, but I'm going to hold back. Because Aries charges forward. If Aries wants something, they go for it. And if they don't want something, they don't go for it. So that's the kind of feeling. If there's a separation going on right now, or like if this person has moved away from you, I think it's like quite simple. Like, that's just what this person wants right now. And it doesn't mean that they're broken or that they're not awakened enough or anything like that. It's just the path that they have chosen. Yes. I also think, like, with this step into your power, there could be a message that you might like give this person too much power. Maybe too much power to control your emotions, to control how confident you feel in yourself. You know, like if they, for example, if this person rejected you, it could really affect your confidence. Or if this person leaves you on red, it could really affect your mood for the day. It's like they have too much power. And of course, when we care about someone, they have a certain amount of power over how we feel, because we're freaking human and we care. Like, we care how the people we care about treat us. But I think that you need to also give yourself enough power to write your own story. Like, if they're not going to give you a clear answer, then you write the ending yourself. And that's hard, right? You're like, I don't want to close this book if I don't know for sure that they're not going to come through. If there's even like the smallest chance that they will, I'm going to keep this book open. But if they're leaving you hanging, eventually you have to write your own story. Eventually you have to give yourself your own closure. You have to say, I'm not going to wait any longer. I'm not going to do this anymore. Regardless of how you feel right now, like, I have to look out for myself. And also, like, however you're treating me does not reflect my worth. It simply doesn't. It just reflects that we're on different paths, that we're on different pages. So I think we are seeing an encouragement to let go, whether that is like letting go of this connection entirely or letting go of the outcome. But I would keep in mind that you don't have to change anything about yourself when it's the right person. And that includes your way of thinking. That includes your desires. That includes your way of processing your emotions. So if you feel like in order to be with this person, I need to turn my emotions down a notch. In order to be with this person, I need to numb myself a bit. I need to stop caring about certain things. Then that's changing yourself. And I have a feeling, I mean, I can't speak for you, and you will know this better than me, but I have a feeling that you want to be like vulnerable and open and emotional and feel all the emotions with someone, because that's a beautiful experience. So whatever you choose, the advice for you is to don't choose the path where you have to change, where you have to change something fundamental about yourself, where you have to change your values, change your sensitivities, change what's important to you, change your expectations. If you have certain expectations for a connection, that's very valid. You shouldn't have to change your expectations to be with someone. You can be with someone else. And I feel like I'm talking very harshly for this group, but maybe it's just time to hear this stuff in a straightforward way. So let's get into the tarot now and see what will happen in the future and get some more advice for you. We are using the Divine Feminine Tarot. What is in the future of this connection between group number 2 and their person? We have the Knight of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune, ooh, the Emperor, and the Queen of Wands. And then the last 2 cards will be advice. So what is Spirit's advice for group number 2? The Page of Swords. And the 7 of Pentacles. All right, so I think it's really cool that we have the Knight of Wands and then the Queen of Wands. And I definitely think that this is you. You're this Knight of Wands growing into the Queen of Wands. And that is so beautiful. I feel like this is a journey of confidence. This is a journey of knowing you're the shit, knowing that you deserve the best, knowing that you never have to change. This is like your evolved energy. This is really your own journey. And I think you're starting here as this Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands also brings to us a message of being confident and believing in yourself. And it represents a journey, it represents motion. And I think it's just really beautiful that the way they came out, like they're facing each other. This is like your future self or your higher self who is waiting for you to come find them. And you are this knight that is moving towards them. So you're like on a journey to find your highest self. I feel like this is honestly all about you. This journey here. And it's so beautiful because like to start this journey, you don't have to be confident. You just have to believe that things can get better. You just have to believe that someday you can be. And even, I would say even you don't have to believe in yourself all the time, as long as you keep going. Even on your bad days. Even on your worst days, you're making progress. And even the smallest steps that you take, you're making progress. The journey to self-acceptance, like we have here, and the journey to confidence, it's not an easy one. It's not a short one. And it's not a linear one. But if you commit to yourself and keep taking little steps every day, you will become this Queen of Wands. It may seem like difficult to fathom now, I hope to become this Queen of Wands one day, but the future you has unshakable confidence and unshakable inner peace. The future you is a ray of sunshine and recognizes it. The future you does not compare themselves to anyone else or compare their journey to anyone else. The future you doesn't feel like they have to change for anything or anyone. And nothing and no one could ever make them feel lesser, because their confidence comes from within, or your confidence comes from within. It comes from inside your heart. And I have a feeling that there's some opportunities coming your way that are going to help you to feel more confident. With this Wheel of Fortune and the Emperor, you guys are about to embark on an unexpected journey that is really going to change everything for you. This is just an example, hypothetical, to understand like the energy that I'm talking about. But like, let's say you are in college and this person, your person, is like in a bunch of your classes, and you see them all the time, and you see the same group of friends all the time. The same group of friends that has the same people and the same drama, and you go to parties at the same places. That becomes like your little world. And so everything that happens in this world matters so much, because it's like the ecosystem, so to speak, that you live in. This would be you, the person in the example. Maybe they graduate college and they just realize how much bigger the world is, and like, oh my gosh, like, a year ago today, I was worried about this drama between like Kelsey and Natasha, and I was so concerned about like what I was gonna wear to the club, or like just, and this is a hypothetical example, right? But just imagine this person in their bubble, and they care about all these things, and then they step out into the world and realize that the world is so much bigger and they are so much bigger. And there's so many fish in the sea. And then they forget all about this person. I feel, whatever your case might be, I feel like you're stepping into a completely different world. A completely new world unexpectedly. And then the current life that you're living suddenly feels small in contrast, like you've outgrown it. And it's really being highlighted that you don't see this coming. There's going to be a change in your environment, a change in where you work, where you study, where you live. And there's going to be unexpected opportunities coming your way that allow you to really explore your capabilities and show you how independent you can be and how much ass you can kick on your own. You might be thrust into a position that is higher than your comfort zone, but you can handle it. You're proving to yourself that you can handle more responsibility, more discipline, that you can take charge of yourself and take charge of your life. This Emperor card indicates you either being like your own boss, like self-employed, or in a very high position somewhere. And I feel like that's going to boost your confidence a lot, whatever this experience is. First of all, how well you adapted to the new environment, how you were able to recover from the woes and recover from the drama of your past and become stronger. You're able to become more resilient. You're able to believe in yourself and believe in your abilities more because you see them at work. You're also able to be a leader and direct people and inspire people and serve people. Like, it's almost as if your guides are saying, if you're having a hard time being confident and believing in yourself, let us create a scenario where we can show you how awesome you are, because it's staring you right in the face. When you see what you're doing, when you see what you're accomplishing and how you're navigating this new world and this new chapter, you will not be able to dispute the fact that you're awesome. You are this Emperor. You are in charge of your own life. You are your own person. You are empowered by you. You are putting the power, giving the power back to yourself to hype yourself up. There's a shift where we don't need so much external validation and approval anymore. And I think we all need a bit of that. And Like, we're lying if we say that that doesn't feel good. It feels good to be validated by others. But I feel like you're coming back to the main role of hyping yourself up, to the main role of giving yourself love, the main role of affirming your own value. And external validation is just icing on the cake. You are becoming this Queen of Wands. As for your advice, interestingly, again, we have the Page of Swords coming towards the Queen of Wands, but she is looking the other way. Like, she's not interested. The Page of Swords is the lowest court card and the Queen of Wands is the highest. And that doesn't mean that the Queen of Wands is better than the Page of Swords. It just means that the Queen of Wands is the priority in her own life. And this page is not the priority. You're really becoming the king or the queen or the ruler of yourself. I think for some of you, this could be like financial independence or living independence, like being able to live wherever you want, not having to financially rely on anyone. So maybe we're not relying on family anymore, or maybe we're not relying on an employer anymore because we're doing that ourselves. But there's a feeling of like really freeing yourself and being able to live life on your own terms. And when you're able to do that, your confidence is just going to skyrocket. And so the queen is not saying like, oh, this page is below me, go away, but just saying like, this page is not in my highest alignment. Like, we're on different paths, so I just can't prioritize what this page has to say. This could be your person coming towards you again. And you're just not really interested in it anymore. I remember this one time, like, I was like obsessed with this person, and then, well, and this is just my example. I'm not saying that your person is like this, but I was like so obsessed with this person and they were not very nice to me. And I just kind of like took it for a long time because I was like really young and I didn't know any better. Like, I didn't know how I deserved to be treated. But after a while, I was like, this doesn't feel good. And I just cut that person off. And they did end up coming back and like trying to get with me and stuff. But at that point, I was just so over it. And so it feels a little bit something like that, where, you know, we're embarking on a new journey, we're evolving, we're going through a lot of growth, but then this person is coming back exactly the same. So we're kind of not really into it. And I think the advice for you is to not accept less than what you deserve. Again, not saying this person is lesser, but it's not in alignment with you, and therefore it's not what you deserve. It's like you need more. You need something that is more, that is going to fit the person you've become. Yeah. And honestly, with the Seven of Pentacles here, give it time. This journey might not happen overnight, and things can always change, but it seems like right now is not the time. Like, your soul wants to go somewhere else. Your soul wants to explore themselves. Your soul wants to reach their calling of becoming this healer. This is like the priority. This is the most important thing. I just feel like these two people look the same. So, you know, this person could go through some growth over time, but I just feel like we're not waiting around for them. So, with all of that being said, I think that we will do this side for the extended reading. We'll see if things could change in this connection, and if so, how would they change, and what would happen if things changed. We'll see if there's any other connections coming in, relevant time frames that you should know about on your journey, and then we'll get a message and advice from someone's higher self to be determined. But group number 2's, I am going to end this part of the reading here. So if you'd like to join me over in the extended reading, there will be a link for that in the description as well as in the pinned comment. However, if you're going to leave the reading here, I will say thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you feel like doing that. And definitely, if you feel like it, check out our lovely sponsor, Scentbird. You guys, I'm really growing into this fragrance. I've just been enjoying it this whole time throughout the reading. So that will be linked below as well. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, you can find me on Instagram. I just got back to Instagram this month in January. I post pick a card readings there. You can find me on Patreon, and I'm actually taking a break from Patreon, but you can find me there, where we have 50 plus exclusive pick a card readings plus 2 new ones every month, and you guys get to choose the topic for those. You can find me on my music channel. The song that you guys heard at the very start of this video was an original song, so if you're interested in listening to the full version of that song or any of my other ones, you can do so over on my music channel. And finally, we have merch at kinotarot.com, which features the floating temple that is at the start of these videos, and we have that on hoodies, sweatshirts, mugs, and tote bags. So all that stuff that I just mentioned is going to be linked for you down below in the description and the pinned comment. Thank you so much for supporting me and for supporting my channel. It truly means a lot to me. Group number 2's, I'm sending so much love to you, to your person, both of you, your higher selves, your soul families, your spirit guides, and your whole spiritual teams. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi number 3's, so if you guys chose the Vetiver in Bloom, this is going to be your reading. I have to say, out of all 3 of the scents that we use today, I think this one is the most elegant, the most sophisticated. It's very floral, very nice. I would love my room to smell like this. It's really calming. Anyway, so I have prepared a list today just to go over everything that we're going to be looking at in today's reading. I wanted to share that with you guys before we get into it. So over here on YouTube, we're going to be looking at the current energies of the connection between you and your person. So we're going to do your energy, their energy, and then the energy that exists between the two of you. And we're going to be looking at that from the 5D perspective. So your spiritual connection, the connection between your higher selves, and also your 3D connection. So what is going on here on Earth between your human selves. And then we're going to see what will happen in the future of this connection. Is there a possibility for union? And then close off the reading with some advice from Spirit regarding your connection. And then we are going to have an extended reading today, but what we look at in the extended reading will depend on what we see in the YouTube reading. So if we do this reading here and we see that there's a strong possibility for union, then in the extended reading, we'll see how are things going to play out? How will you actually end up in this union? Should you reach out first and make the first move towards them, or will they reach out to you? Relevant timeframes for your union, and then finally a message and advice directly from your person's higher self. However, if we do the reading here on YouTube and we see that union is not so likely, or maybe it's not encouraged at this time, then in the extended reading we'll see, could the outcome change? And if so, how would it change? What would need to happen? Are there maybe any other connections coming in for you? Potential new people of interest entering or coming back into your life? And we'll also look at relevant timeframes for your journey, and then finally get a message and advice from your person's higher self, or if there's a new person, from their higher self maybe, whoever wants to come through. So that is what we're going to be doing today. And let's get started. We're gonna do the current energies first. So I'm going to put your cards on this side and their cards on this side. However, if you feel like the energies are switched, that's more like them, that's more like you, that is totally fine. You can switch the energies over. You may even find that you resonate with both sides of the spread, and that is totally fine as well. That's often a sign that you and your person are mirroring each other. However, if you don't really resonate with either side, then you might want to try listening to another group, or maybe this is just not your reading today. So with all of that being said, let's get started. We're gonna start with the 5D connection. So on your side, we have surrender, the Green Man and Moss Agate, Ritual and Ceremony, New Spirit Guides, Tree Wisdom. On your person side, we have Music, Ethiopian Opal, Fertile Ground, Pegasus, Unicorn Energy, Rainbow Child. And in the middle, the energy between the two of you, we have Revelations. All doubt and confusion have now transmuted to clarity. Wow. Okay, so just to start off, we have the numbers 91, 41, and 32, which could be relevant numbers to your connection. And in terms of elements that are present here, we have earth, air, and water, which is a lot, but earth, air, or water signs could be significant, which is actually the same elements that came up for group number 1. So some of you guys might have been drawn to group number 1 as well, but this is a really cool card to have in the middle. Revelations, all doubt and confusion have now transmuted to clarity. This means that in the current energy, both you and your person are starting to gain clarity about what this connection really is. I am a bit late, but I just noticed this like crow, I think it is, peeking up here. So crows could be a significant spirit animal. It could be like spirit guides watching over your connection when you see a crow, or it could be your person's higher self popping in to say hi. But with this energy in the middle here, I do think that both you and your person have been very fascinated about figuring out what this connection is, and at times have been confused in the process of figuring it out. I think that both of you definitely feel each other's energy very strongly. Even if you're not together in the 3D right now, or even if you never have been, I can say with confidence that you feel their energy very strongly and they feel your energy very strongly, and you are both actively questioning, what is this? Why am I feeling this person so strongly? Or if you don't know each other in the 3D, why am I feeling this energy so strongly? It feels like there's someone with me, or it feels like someone or something is trying to communicate with me. I feel it strongly. Both of you feel it strongly. And it's been confusing. Maybe some things have happened that cannot be explained with logic, that cannot be explained in 3D terms, because there's something deeper going on. So if you have been experiencing the connection like this, just know that your person has as well on their side. They're like, who is this person? What is this connection? I gotta know, because I know it's something. I know it's special, but like, what's going on? And it's so funny to me because this card is moss agate. And when I got my first piece of moss agate, I bought it just because I was really drawn to it, but it wasn't properly labeled at the store. It didn't have a thing that says this is moss agate. I just saw it and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. And I bought it, and it took me quite a long time to figure out that it was moss agate. I was like Googling and sending pictures of it to people. I finally figured out what it was, but I think the moral of that story as it pertains to this reading is that you don't necessarily need to know the official name of it to know that it's important and to know that it's something that you want. So you don't necessarily have to put a label on this connection to experience the beauty of it and to experience the truth of it and to bring it to its happiest fruition. But with that being said, I think that both of you are going to get clarity very soon of like, oh, it's this type of spiritual connection. This is why we're in each other's lives. I do feel like that's going to be revealed to you soon, or you will get confirmation of what you have been suspecting. It's definitely a very powerful connection. With this pendulum here, and this pendulum is coming from your side, so maybe you have used divination tools to try to figure out more about this person and their role in your life and what this connection is all about. And then this person looks like they're dreaming, like they're up in the astral plane. So maybe your person has been having a lot of dreams about you and piecing things together through their dreams. But it does seem like you're both actively taking an interest in this connection and what it all means and trying to figure it out. So I don't really see either of you at this point like running away from the connection or trying to ignore it. You seem quite interested in it, both of you, and you both recognize that there's deeper things going on than just what's happening in the 3D, which is really, really cool. Like it's so nice to see both parties aware of the spiritual connection. It feels really special. So over here on your side, we have surrender. I think that your higher self right now is just chilling. I think that your higher self is not so worried about labeling the connection, but just wants to experience it and enjoy it and feel fulfilled by it. And with this number 91 here, it's like the end of a cycle and the beginning of a cycle. So one of the reasons that you guys might be feeling kind of confused, like trying to figure out what this connection is because in this lifetime, I feel like the dynamic between the two of you is a little bit different than what it was before. And we'll get into that in a second. But it's almost as if in your previous lifetime with this person, you closed off. Oh my gosh, the camera really wants to focus on this music card, so that must be important. It's like you closed off a tough cycle in your previous lifetime, or you closed off a cycle of healing and lessons in your previous lifetime. And now in this current lifetime, you and your person have started on a new quest, and there's different rules and you're coming together for different reasons. And I think that one of the reasons you are coming together in this lifetime is to unlock each other's creative power and collaborate on something, because we have this music card here. It could literally be music that you're collaborating on, but it definitely doesn't have to be. I see the number 32 here. The number 3 makes me think of creativity and collaboration. The number 2 makes me think of union. So I think it's really important that the two of you come together to make something, and you like tap into each other's creative potential, or you help activate each other's creative potential. So there could be talents that are dormant in you, or like creative potential or brilliant ideas that are dormant in you, and either meeting and conversing with this person or just being in the presence of their energy unlocks something for you, and vice versa. It does the same for them. But I do have the feeling, I'm already going to answer the union question. I do have a feeling that there is a chance for you guys to come together and make beautiful things in this world. But even if you don't, you'll definitely be aware of each other, if that makes sense. I feel like you guys will kind of be, no matter what, in the same field, in the same circles, around the same people, hearing about each other, crossing paths. Just to use music as an example, let's say both of you are musicians. Even if you never got a chance to like come together and collaborate, you would still know of each other and admire each other and have like mutual friends and collaborators. Like you're not gonna not cross paths in the 3D. Like that's off the table. So for those of you who don't know this person yet, like you're gonna influence each other in the 3D. You're gonna end up like in the same arenas, if that makes sense. But yeah, this can be anything. It really doesn't have to be music, but I do see you guys being in the same like professional field or creative field, inspiring and influencing each other, and possibly working directly together. So I feel like your previous cycle of incarnations together was more heavy. It was more about like shadow work and working through heavy energies and that kind of stuff. And I feel like that's over. And this new cycle is all about helping unlock each other's creativity and inspiration. So it's a more exciting and a more light energy that you're stepping into from this lifetime on. But with that being said, I think your souls might remember the tough cycle that you left behind, and that causes confusion. I feel like when you come together, a part of you might still think, oh, we're coming together to work on, tough shadow work. We're coming together to have a challenging connection because we're supposed to learn from it. And your guides are like, no, that was the last cycle. Like, that heavy energy is over. This new cycle is all about having fun and inspiring each other. It's like, I guess as a human, it's like when you finally get out of a stressful or even traumatic situation and you're safe now, but you still don't really believe it. So it's almost like you still feel, oh, I need to heal a lot of tough things to be with this person, or like they're supposed to teach me really tough lessons. And that's not really the vibe anymore. Like, you're kind of free from that. I hope that makes sense. You're in a brand new, lighter, more fun cycle with them. It's interesting too, you have new spirit guides, so maybe you changed up your spirit guides from the last cycle and someone new is guiding you. It does look like there is some kind of like tree spirit or nature spirit that is guiding you this time. You might feel very at one with nature or feel very at peace in nature. I'm thinking of, this kind of reminds me of Grandmother Willow, like from Pocahontas. It's very cute, but I do feel like you have nature spirits that are guiding you. And then over here, let's look at your person's end as well. So music seems to be important to this person. They might speak to you through music, or you might speak to them through music, or you or them or both of you could be musicians. I also think that this is indicating like a gift of clairaudience that your person has, because I'm loosely translating music to be about sound. So I do think that is a gift that they have, and I feel like when they experience this connection with you, it's like they can hear you. They can maybe hear, wait, isn't that oh no, I'm thinking of that song, like, I still hear your voice when you sleep next to me. I still feel your touch in my dream. Oh, that was such a good song. Every time we touch. Anyway, what was I talking about? Yeah, like, they could hear your voice in their dream, or hear your voice in their waking life. Almost like the voice in their head is you. Whenever they're in like a crunch moment, a moment of pressure, when like the stress is building up, or when they're going through a hard time, it's like they can hear your voice encouraging them. You speak words of encouragement to them, and they hear it in their like mind's ear. And I will say that I do believe this is the case even if they have not met you before in the 3D. They can still hear your voice in their head. And I imagine that would be pretty freaky if they met you later and it was the same voice. Anyway, yeah, music or clairaudience is significant. And then for their other oracle card, we have Pegasus, Unicorn Energy, Rainbow Child. This is definitely a very gifted soul. I have heard about like rainbow children and indigo children before. I don't know specifically about rainbow children, but indigo children generally have very, very strong intuition, a very, very strong will. And they're here to help Earth awaken And they do things kind of unconventionally. They don't really fit into the existing structures on Earth. Please feel free to elaborate or correct me in the comments because I'm not super knowledgeable. I know there's like crystal children as well. But anyway, they're special. They're here for a special purpose. And with unicorns here, unicorns often make me think of embracing your unique talents, embracing what makes you weird with finger quotes and what makes you unique. And I think that you being present, your energy being present, really helps them to do that. So by being in your presence, they can shift from this feeling of I'm weird, I don't fit in, I'm an outcast, to like I'm unique, I'm special, I have a rare beauty, and like that should be shared with the world. So you help them find confidence in their weirdness and uniqueness. And I think it's so cute that there's two unicorns here. Like, I think this is the two of you, and it seems like you have come over to them to be like, it's okay, like, you're beautiful, and I see your beauty, and I know that one day you'll see it too. I feel like you're always offering encouragement to your person, and they could have the same effect on you as well, like helping you embrace what makes you different and seeing it as something beautiful. And I also think that the two of you, like with these two unicorns, it looks like they're playing, and with music as well, I definitely think that the two of you do bring out this beautiful, like playful energy out of each other, where things don't have to be so serious, things don't have to be so heavy. So I really hope that you and them can recognize that your tough cycles are over and you can just like relax and have fun together in this lifetime. That's really, really sweet. So let's get into your 3D connection now. So we're going to take some more oracle cards. On your side, we have the full moon in Aries with Cool Your Emotions, and Edge of the World, Leap into the Unknown, Calling, Courage, Taking Risks. We have on their side the last quarter moon in Cancer with Take a Breather. And we have Portal, A New Door is Opening, Beginnings, Opportunities, Adventure. And in the middle, Libyan Gold Tektite with Manifestation. I just wanted to mention, like, because we have Ethiopian Opal and Libyan Gold Tektite, like Africa could be significant for some of you, like one of you or both of you are from there, or maybe you have like lineage there. And also with Edge of the World, I felt like maybe a country on the far east side or far west side of the world could be significant, or maybe it's just indicating that like you could be on the other side of the world from this person, or you could be moving to the other side of the world or something like that. But yeah, that's kind of cool. And then we have Aries energy here and Cancer energy here, which could be your placements, or it could be indicating that the two of you have the same like mode of sign. Like Aries and Cancer are both cardinal signs, so you could be like both cardinal signs or both fixed signs or both mutable signs. I'm not going to name what all of them are because that will be long, but you might be familiar with that, or if you feel called to look up like the cardinal, fixed, and mutable signs, feel free to do that. You could be in the same like mode of signs. Okay, and also look at how similar these are. We have a card that is about a new beginning, a new adventure, stepping into a new experience, and then we have a card that's like chill. Cool your emotions, take a breather. Like these cards are similar for both of you, and these cards are similar for both of you, and I think that's really cool. And it lets me know that in the 3D, basically you guys are on the same path. You have a very similar journey, and you're kind of in the same place on your journey. I will say that in the 3D, your person might be a little bit more, no, they appear to be a little bit more advanced in their journey, but it's just an illusion. Okay? Because On the outside cards here, this phase of moon is a bit more advanced than this one. So on the outside, it looks like your person has gotten farther in life. It looks like they're more successful or more experienced or more advanced. But on the inside, they have the same moon as you. So what's the difference between the two of you? Maybe it's just confidence. Maybe. So just going back to the musician example, you might look at your person and see that maybe they have a larger following than you, or they have more like, what is it called? This is so bad. They have more discography under their belt. It seems like they've done more, and so they must be farther along on their path. But on the inside, they actually have the exact same like talent as you. I hope that that makes sense. The idea that they're like more advanced than you or better than you in some way is just an illusion. When you're actually more similar and more on the same path of your journey as you think. I just randomly got emotional. We're gonna that might be something of this connection where you get like random outbursts of emotion about it. And I don't think it's a negative emotion. I think it's feeling very moved and feeling very touched and feeling very grateful to be on the journey. I think that the inspiration that you get from each other is actually very touching. Like it makes you very emotional. And with this yellow card in between the two of you, you definitely make each other very happy. Like you just brighten up each other's day and lift each other's mood so much. Whether it happens in person or remotely in spirit, it doesn't matter. And it's very clear to me with this card in the middle that the two of you are manifesting each other, because the card in the middle represents your common ground, like the energy between both of you. So it's not a one-sided, you're manifesting them or they're manifesting you. It's both. You are attracting each other, and the universe is creating the path for both of you to come together. Definitely. It's even really cool that these two people are facing each other. And I think that these two people are your guides. They might be your new spirit guides. And, ooh, there's also this eye in the sky. Oh, it's like there's humans on Earth, but there's also an eye in the sky. Some of you have spirit guides who were... Oh, okay. That makes sense. If you guys have lost a loved one, they want you to know that they have now like stepped in as your spirit guide. So like they're still with you, watching every step of the way. And this is like their new position. So they want you to know, like, I didn't leave you. I just changed my position. I'm just helping you from a higher place now. And I'm going to take this position seriously. It could have been as well like someone who was outdoorsy, earthy, down to earth, someone who liked nature. And also, your spirit guides are saying to you, what you want is most important. What you want is more important than what we want. So you guys might have the habit of asking your guides, like, what should I do? Is this the best choice for me? Or like almost asking your guides, like, what do you want me to do? And they're like, well, what do you want to do? We're just here to help that, to facilitate that. So you just tell us what you want and don't think about it too much. Just like do what feels fun for you. Do what makes you feel joyful, and we will work to facilitate that. And I think that there's a similar message for both of you. I think that there is a breakthrough happening soon for both of you in your lives, and it could be the very thing that brings you into union. And I think both of you, you're feeling very excited right now. but you might be feeling a bit impulsive, and your guides are saying, just hold on. Just wait a little bit longer. You might need to still perfect something, or we might have a different idea that will be even easier for you. So a very easy example I can give to explain this energy is like, if you've been considering making a big purchase, like something that you really, really want, and you're like, screw it, I'm gonna go for it, and you feel really good about it, your guides are saying like, yes, this is very exciting and we want you to have this item, but just wait a second, because maybe in like 3 days that item is going to go on sale, or maybe in a few days someone is going to gift it to you. So it's like, we're not saying don't get this item. You should very much have this item, but if you wait a little bit longer, there's a better way to get it that will be less effort for you, or you'll have to like give away less to get it. So there's that kind of feeling when it comes to stepping into this new chapter of your life. It's kind of like how if you wait, and this just happened to my friend recently, where she was able to get first class on a plane for just like an extra $300, which is insane because first class is usually thousands of dollars. So it's like, if you just wait a little bit more, you will be able to attain something more easily. And I'm using the example of musicians a lot because it's here, and I use musician examples quite frequently because I am one, and it just, my brain is like, just makes sense for me. But we gave that example of like wanting to collaborate with a musician, right? So this would be someone being like, okay, like I'm gonna get my demos, and I'm gonna write a letter, and then I'm gonna like go to a show and throw it on the stage. Like, yeah, that's an idea, but there's probably an easier way to get that demo to them or to get talking to them. And so your guides are like, I appreciate your initiative and I appreciate the effort that you're willing to make, but we got you. Like, just hold on for 1 second, because maybe like tomorrow you can bump into them somewhere, or you can meet a mutual person. Like, we have easier ways to go about this. That's the kind of feeling. And I think that, well, both of you, you're like so charged up right now that you're willing to do the harder thing to create this breakthrough in your life, which could be related to your career, or like to come into union with each other. And it's like, just cool it, just take a minute. Or maybe in this example, if you wait a little while, you're like, I actually want to change my demo. Like, I want to tweak this and I want to improve it. So it's like, you're so excited to get the demo to them, but if you just calm down a little bit and ask yourself calmly, like, is this the best work that I can do? Maybe I can fix it. So like, there's no rush, I guess. And if you just take your time, things will turn out better. Yeah, I hope that makes sense, but the future seems very, very exciting for you guys, and we're gonna get into, wow, the camera is still focusing on music, this card. Okay, I'm gonna drink some water before we get into this part. But let's see, what is in the future of this connection? What is in the future of the connection between group number 3 and their person? We have the Fool. And when I held up the Fool card, the camera focused on this card, Edge of the World, Leap into the Unknown, which makes a lot of sense. This camera is very intelligent. The Ace of Pentacles. Okay. the Hermit, and the Four of Cups. And then the last two cards are going to be advice. Oh my gosh, the Lovers. Okay. And the Knight of Swords. Ooh, okay. All right. So, what is the future of this connection? Well, the Fool is very much a continuation of this energy, like portal, edge of the world, a new door is opening, leap into the unknown. There is definitely an unexpected opportunity coming your way, and with the Ace of Pentacles right after this, it is a career opportunity. Like, it's an opportunity to make money, to advance your career, and you will probably not feel ready for it with the Fool, because there is a feeling with the Fool of like, I'm just a beginner, I don't know what I'm doing. But you do know what you're doing. You just do things differently than other people. And I think we just need to stop. We need to stop believing that the right way to do something is the way that most people do it. Like, if everyone does it that way, then that must be the right way. And I will give an example that I truly believe you could be an extremely gifted tarot reader, even if you never studied it and you have no idea what the actual real meaning of the card is, and you just go off of your intuition. You could have a completely different meaning for the cards, and you could still give powerful readings, because the divine will always work with you. So, for example, Ace of Pentacles. Traditionally, this means like a job opportunity, money coming in, an offer being given to you, things like that. But maybe someone looks at this card and says, Ace of Pentacles, I think that means animals. I think that means you're going to have animals in your life. So, this tarot reader, if they need to give someone the message about animals, then the divine is going to give them this card. You know, the divine's not going to be like, well, actually, this one means job. Like, no. Because at the end of the day, it's just what some humans decided. And, you know, language is like that too. Like, someone had to invent words at one point. But the meanings change over time. And it's like, it just happens. And everyone interprets words with different nuance, and they're all valid. Maybe that's not the perfect example, but I just want to say that things aren't static, and just like the mainstream isn't necessarily the right way to do it. So just because most tarot readers interpret this as a new job offer, it doesn't mean that you have to. You can still give accurate readings in a different way, because the divine will work with your unique way. And so all of that to say, the reason you might think you're not ready for this opportunity, or that you're not like as good as the rest or whatever, is because you do things in a different way. Or maybe you don't have as much experience. And the universe is kind of challenging you to think that maybe that is your advantage. Because that will be refreshing. That will stand out. And I feel like a lot of your talent comes from something innate. It doesn't come from studying other people. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that, but you don't need to hold yourself to the same standard as everyone else or do things exactly the same as everyone else. It's you doing things differently that is so exciting. And you are very much ready for this opportunity. Like, you're ready to go into that field and shake things up and do your thing. And that's the Hermit. The hermit is a pro at doing their own thing, of following their own inner compass, of going to the beat of their own drum. They're not concerned with what Peggy over there is doing. I don't know who that is. They're not concerned with that. And look how the hermit confidently walks towards this money. Like, let me get my abundance, let me get my recognition, let me get my rewards. You might succeed in a field where you don't have like formal training. You've just learned it by doing it, you know? Like, you didn't go to tarot school, but you just did tarot readings and figured it out by the way that it feels and by the feedback you get. Like, because you just have that knack for it. Anyway, I hope you guys get what I mean. You are more than equipped for this opportunity, but there's just a feeling like you might be intimidated by others, and it kind of goes back to this energy of, on the outside, you might think that your person is like better than you in something or more advanced in something, but that's not the case. I think that this group kind of has maybe a habit of underestimating themselves, or being like, haha, I don't know what I'm doing, and kind of like self-deprecating like that. But you actually have a beautiful freedom and creativity in what you do. So yeah, I mean, I thought this, when it came to like, there's strong messages of collaboration here, you know, breakthroughs happening in your lives. I definitely think that it's some sort of like career path or joint project that you will be receiving soon, and that will like help to get you together, you know? With the Four of Cups here, oh, this is the last card. It makes sense. I think that this union is going to happen when you embrace who you truly are and like how you truly want to express yourself, because I'm getting this feeling of, you take this new opportunity and you step into this new field, and for a while you are trying to kind of mask your true self and act like everybody else. And okay, this is an example that's coming to my mind. So I think that this is changing, but there could be this idea that like a spiritual tarot reader is going to be very like love and light, hello my beautiful angels, today I like, and you know, talk very nicely and be very gentle and zen. But maybe someone they're very like rambunctious, and maybe they curse a lot, and they don't like sugarcoat shit, and they make like petty jokes and stuff like that. Some people might say like, oh, that's not how a tarot reader behaves, and so that person internalized that and says like, well, I'm not a real tarot reader because I don't act like the other people, I don't speak like the other people. So then when they step into that scene, they might pretend to be like that flowery love and light person, because they think that they have to be, you know, taken seriously or to fit in, or like that's just what you have to do for the job. So they kind of try to assimilate like everybody else. Now I'm thinking of that Pink song that's like, LA told me you'll be a pop star, all you have to change is everything you are. Tired of being compared to damn Britney Spears, she's so pretty, that just ain't me. I don't know Pink's story, but you know, maybe she went into the industry feeling like she had to be a pop star because that's what all the other girls were doing at that time that were like famous. And you know, she's a little bit more like rough around the edges, and she did like curse and just be blunt, and I don't know Pink very well, but that was my image of her. So it could be something like that you're going through, where you are a bit different, but you're like, if I want to make it here, I have to just be like everyone else. But I think that you realize in the end that gets boring with the Four of Cups, and you want, like, and you almost feel like, yes, it's boring for you, and it's also boring for the world. Like, can't you feel that the world is like begging for something different and begging for something refreshing? Yeah. And I think you'll finally just like cut the act and be like, this doesn't feel good. And you'll really embrace this hermit energy. And I think that is how you really attract this person, this connection into your life. Like, being your authentic self is so important, because wherever they are, they're feeling your authentic energy. They're feeling the energy of your higher self. They feel that come through very purely. So if you embody that in the 3D, then it's easy for them to find you. They're like, oh, that's the energy I know. Does that make sense? Moving on to your advice, we have the Lovers and the Knight of Swords. Wow, we have a lot of zodiac signs like Aries, Cancer, Aquarius, Virgo, Gemini. First of all, I think there's advice to not compare yourself to other people or compare your journey to other people. The sun and the moon together, again, making me think of like opposite sides of the world. And I keep thinking of songs for this group, so music must be very important. But there's like that Panic at the Disco song that's like, when the moon fell in love with the sun. And it's, I don't even remember what it's called, but anyway, it's nostalgic. Not comparing yourself to others, and even when it comes to spiritual connections, because there was a message earlier about maybe you guys were confused about what this connection was, and you're like struggling to put a label on it, and maybe you turn to others' connections or others' definitions of connections to define yours. So for example, you might feel that this person is your twin flame, but then when you talk to people or when you go on the internet, people are saying, oh, well, if you're a twin flame, you'll experience these 4 things. And then you're like, well, I don't really experience it that way. Okay, well, then you're not a twin flame. Like, it's like looking to the definitions that have been put out there before, or looking to the boxes that people have created before to try to define your connection. And it, like, if that label feels good to you, you don't have to meet the criteria of some blogger. Like, no offense, I don't want to belittle anyone's work, but at the end of the day, how you feel about it matters most. And maybe you feel like you don't even want to label it, and that's okay. But like, your connection is just between you and your person, and however you choose to define it, or if you don't choose to define it, that is up to you, and that is valid. And I would even go so far to give you this advice for other aspects of your identity. Like, if you don't want to label what you do in a certain genre, or if you don't want to label, like, even like freaking your sexuality or whatever as a certain thing, it's okay. It's okay to be fluid, and it's okay to label things or not label things, because the words don't really matter. It's the feeling. And you don't always, it can be helpful to put a name to a feeling sometimes, but even if you don't, it's still there and it's still real. Maybe your connection isn't a new label that doesn't exist yet, and that's okay. Anyway, yeah, like, comparison to others or looking to others to define your experience is not really encouraged by your spirit guides. Also, there's an advice to pay more attention to the telepathic connection, because there is a very strong one. With the Lovers and the Knight of Swords here, I think that the two of you are really in communication all the time. I also think black cats are significant. Crows and black cats are significant animals. If you can, you might want to reach out to this person soon. Or maybe they're going to reach out to you. But both of these are like communication and probably coming in quickly. So I definitely know what version of the extended reading we're doing for this group. It will be this side. So we're gonna see how exactly would things play out leading up to your union. Should you reach out first and make the first move, or are they gonna do that? Relevant timeframes for the union, when exactly it's going to happen, and then a message and advice directly from your person's higher self. So if that sounds good to you and you'd like to join me in the extended reading, that is going to be linked down below in the description as well as in the pinned comment. However, if you're going to leave the reading here, I will say thank you very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that, and definitely feel free to check out our lovely sponsor, Scentbird, who provided this fragrance, which is so nice. That's going to be down below as well. If you enjoy my content and you would like to find me elsewhere, you can find me on Patreon, where we have over 50 exclusive pick a card readings, plus 2 new ones every month. You can find me on Instagram, where I post frequent pick a card readings. You can find me on my music channel. The song that you guys heard at the very start of this video was an original song, so if you're interested in listening to the full version of that song or any of my other ones, you can do so over on my music channel. And finally, we have merch at kinotarot.com, which features the floating temple that's at the start of these videos, and we have that on hoodies, sweatshirts, mugs, and tote bags. So all of that stuff that I just mentioned is going to be linked down below for you in the description and in the pinned comment. Thank you so much for supporting me and for supporting my channel. It truly means a lot to me. Group number 3s, I'm sending you so much love, and much love to your person, to your higher selves, your spirit guides, and your whole spiritual teams, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye!